ndio wakastop.
The alleged cases of abuse are said to have been part of an attempt by police to quell mild protests in pockets of the country a few days after the election, when opposition leader Raila Odinga alleged that the Electoral Commission's systems had been hacked and manipulated in favor of President-elect Uhuru Kenyatta. Odinga is challenging the election results at the Supreme Court. The verdict is due by September the 1st. Trix Ingado, KTN News.
Well, and the police service seems to be on the receiving end in that particular report there by Human Rights Watch Group. Getting into that discussion now, joined in studio is joined by Richard Tuta, who is a security analyst. Richard, this is a conversation we've had since when the results were announced and there were protests, pockets of protests here and there. The IPOA has also come in, but do you see hope that justice would be served on those who are seeking for it?
You see, that begs the question of what is justice, because justice relies so much on the truth. Who is going to provide this truth? Who is going to provide these facts? Because the moment, normally what happens, the moment a scene of any nature of crime has been contaminated, sometimes it will always be difficult to try and figure out exactly who did it. Because as it is today, you will hear members of the public alleging that it is the police who did it. But where is the evidence? The question here is, where is the evidence beyond any reasonable doubt? Because remember, Akisa, as it is today, it is normally it is a requirement of any state that it is the state which should monopolize instrument of violence. Yeah. And when I talk about instrument of violence, I mean things to do with guns and all that. But as it is today in this country, it is no longer a monopoly of the police. Even individuals have got guns. Individuals have got high caliber guns, so that you cannot exactly say whether this gunshot is as a result of a police officer or is it as a result of criminals. Yes.
But that is an argument that we've also seen from the police service saying that it's criminals who are shooting randomly at those who have the... But of course we have also Kenyans there who are saying that no, personally I was attacked by a police officer, I was beaten up, my daughter was beaten up by a police officer. And then that brings us to the question of how far or what is too much force?
As it is today in law, you see the challenging issue here is that it is not anchored in a situation that you can say that just the way you measure temperature and you say that if it is 30 degrees or 40 degrees and all that. This depends on the perspective of the police officer himself vis-a-vis the public. The public will always say that the police used excessive force. The police will always say that they used limited force. And that's why I've always said that the only person or the only institution with the expressive mandate to put this matter to rest is the court.
Quickly, I would
no one else.
I would want us to take a break, but what is excessive force? What is limited force? How do you decide that a protest is mild or a protest is excessive?
It depends on the degree of proportionality. Like, for instance, you have always had people talking of responding to a mosquito bite with a hammer. If you respond to a mosquito bite with a hammer, then that is a case of excessive force. Like, for instance, if the point of shooting a demonstrator is at the back